It's coming to the north, east, south, and west. 3 new Southwestern-style cooking varieties from Campbell's, with 5 great meal ideas on each label, like cheesy chicken quesadillas. Just follow the recipe to make mealtimes fun times. New Southwestern varieties from Campbell's. Come home to a home-cooked meal.
Having diabetes can be a struggle. It can mean testing your blood several times a day. But all those little drops add up to something worthwhile. Living a full, healthy life. We know it takes effort. That's why we made the Essentia Breeze Meter effortless. Just load 1 convenient Essentia Auto Disc for 10 accurate tests. It helps make managing diabetes easier, and the easier it is to manage, the better life can be. Look for the effortless meter, the Essentia Breeze from Bayer.
Oh, that was a good one. Honey, did you get it?
I got it!
What would you do on your own private island? Check your mail for the Capital One No Hassle Island Giveaway. You could instantly win your own island or one of hundreds of island getaways.
What's in your wallet?
You know about Prevacid. Did you know there's also Prevacid Solutab that disintegrates in your mouth? You do now. So the next time you visit your doctor, ask if prescription Prevacid Solutab is right for you.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Rob Hanrahan at the University of Miami. We have reaction and an insider's perspective to the debate.
Live team coverage next at 11.
Well, who, if anybody, won tonight's showdown in Florida? Our CBS News correspondents, John Roberts, who is our chief White House correspondent, and Byron Pitts from the Kerry campaign will give us some analysis now, looking at what happened tonight and looking ahead to the rest of the campaign. First, John Roberts. John?
Well, Dan, I thought that tonight's debate or its joint appearance was as close to a draw as you could possibly come at one of these. Both candidates showed that they understood the issues very well. We saw in here the Bush strategy, of course, to hammer on John Kerry with the mantra, can't lead, can't lead, can't lead. You don't say things like wrong war, wrong time, wrong place. If you're the commander-in-chief, President Bush saying, I'm the commander-in-chief. I know what it's like. I'm the one who talks to leaders all the time. I know what kind of resolve they're looking for, and they're not going to follow somebody whose core values keep shifting. I was a little bit surprised, though, off the top of the debate that the president seemed to stutter a little bit starting some of his answers, particularly since much of what we heard tonight comes right off of his stump speech. I only counted one verbal convolution on the part of the president. That was when he apparently said, or appeared to say at least, that the insurgents were fighting vociferously in Iraq. Viciously was probably the word that he wanted to make. And he said also that there's 100,000 trained troops in Iraq, but there's a Pentagon report out there that would seem to suggest that there aren't 100,000 fully trained troops. It's probably less than that. The president did seem to pretty much, I think, comport himself the way that he was looking for, though perhaps not as strongly as some people would have liked. It'll be interesting to see how he does next week, the town hall meeting, a wide range of issues. That's a format that the president's very comfortable in. Dan?
Byron Pitts, who covers the Kerry campaign. Byron?
Well, Dan, there's a lot of talk tonight about who won, but consider this. 4 years ago, the perception was that Al Gore won that debate that night. 2 days later, that perception changed because of the spin. The spin is going on right now in this building and across the country. We've kept up now what's been happening on the web. Consider this. The Republicans began spinning what John Kerry was saying 30 seconds into the debate. They updated their website 44 times. It took the Democrats about 20 minutes to respond, and they updated their website only once. I think that's something we should look to in the coming days. As for John Kerry's performance tonight, believing again he had to make his case to independence. John Kerry promised to do 2 things. One, to make the case that President Bush has not done a good job in Iraq. The argument can be made he did that. Secondly, he promised to paint a clear picture of what he would do. Now, Dan, at 48 minutes into the debate, he was asked what he would do specifically. It took John Kerry another 20 minutes to finally answer that question. His only specifics were he would add 2 divisions and double the size of the special forces. So we'll have to see in the coming days how well this plays out, how much impact the spin will have. Dan?
Byron Pitts. Bob Schieffer, Byron makes a good point that in the first 12 to 24 hours after debate, there is frequently one view of who got the best of it, and in the next 24 to 48 hours, it sometimes changes. Would you expect that to happen this time?
Well, I think people do like to think about these things a little bit before they just off the top of their head decide which one they like better. What we saw tonight, Dan, though, we saw two men who have very different views of how you fight the war on terrorism. Now, over the next couple of days, people will talk around the water coolers, they'll talk over their kitchen tables about which point of view they agree with, and that will be who won this debate. People vote for a president because it's the person they feel most comfortable with in a time of crisis. We saw two men with two very different approaches to how to do this. We'll see what people think about it.
Bob Schieffer, thanks. So American voters get to see for the first time the two major party candidates for president side by side, face to face. A chance to take their measure. From President Bush tonight, a vigorous defense of his policy in Iraq. He rejected Senator Kerry's notion that going into Iraq had cost the United States something in the search for Osama bin Laden and the worldwide effort to rout al-Qaeda. From Senator Kerry, tough criticism, saying it was the wrong decision to go into Iraq and that if elected, he will do it better and win. So round one of the presidential joint appearances is over. Two more to come. But next will be the one and only vice presidential face-off between Vice President Dick Cheney and Senator John Edwards next Tuesday in Cleveland. Then 3 days later, Friday of next week, Bush-Kerry round two, a town meeting with audience questions in St. Louis. Finally, the last Bush-Kerry meeting back to the original format, October 13th in Tempe, Arizona. The focus will be domestic issues. Bob Schieffer will be moderating that. There'll be more about tonight's event on your local news on this CBS station and tomorrow morning on the CBS Early Show. For now, Dan Rather with Bob Schieffer, Anthony Mason, Byron Pitts, and John Roberts. Good night, everybody.
Catch Jag Fridays on CBS. It's all here.
I saw a poll that said the right track, wrong track in Iraq was better than here in America.
The right track? Americans are being kidnapped, held hostage, even beheaded. Over 1,000 American soldiers have died, and George Bush has no plan to get us out of Iraq. John Kerry does. The Kerry Solution. Allies share the burden, train Iraqis to protect themselves. John Kerry, a new direction in Iraq.
I'm John Kerry, and I approve this message.
Medical errors are the 6th leading cause of death in America. In Florida, up to 5,400 lives will be lost this year. In just 1 year, 97 objects left in patients, 46 surgeries on the wrong body part, almost $1 billion in medical errors. Amendment 3 gives special legal protection to even the worst medical providers, making the healthcare system even less accountable. Make healthcare safer and more affordable. Vote no on 3.
No one can tell him he's wrong. Even though there were no weapons of mass destruction, the deficit has never been higher. He's lost more jobs than any president in 75 years. And 1,000 American soldiers have died in a war poorly planned. But no one can tell him he's wrong. America can't afford 4 more years. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
President Bush and our leaders in Congress have a plan.
Enhance border and port security.
Increase homeland security measures.
Reform and strengthen intelligence services.
Renew the Patriot Act, giving law enforcement tools against terrorists.
Create a national counterterrorism center.
Transform our military.
Give the military all it needs.
Find terrorists where they train and hide.
Learn more
at agendaforamerica.com.
I'm George W. Bush, and I approve this message.
Now live from the University of Miami, this is a special edition of CBS 4 News. Campaign 2004, the presidential debate.
South Florida basks in the spotlight as the presidential candidates debate politics, war, and the politics of war.
The hope that somehow resolutions and failed inspections would make this world a more peaceful place. He was hoping we'd turn away.